You know, nobody knew that COVID-19 was coming up, and it hit the world like a storm. Anything could happen to change that kind of plan. You may be having a particular notion or average what you're going to get at the end of the day. Any disaster or natural occurrence could take place. So that's what they call the providence of things that may happen that you cannot control, or force majeure rather.
Yes.
So if such kind of thing happen, how do you now determine that because of you have predicted that before the end of by first quarter of the year, this is what you're able to do? So what then makes you to determine that because of you achieved this for the first quarter of the year, it's going to repeat itself all the way to the end of the year?
When is the last time something like COVID-19 happened? It's almost 100 years. So even when you plan, you're not planning for, they call them black swan events, once in a lifetime events. They can happen, but in those big companies, they have a BCDR, Business Continuity Disaster Recovery. It's called a disaster. COVID in those companies is a disaster. So they usually have a disaster recovery plan. If you look at their disaster recovery plans, most of their data centers will be in Lagos, but they have failover sites in other parts of the country. And the reason is that by the time you assess the risks of a place like Lagos, it's a coastal city. A natural disaster like flooding is a threat here. A major storm, disruptions, it could be social disruption, political disruption, and for any reason they lose their data centers or whatever. They have a failover site. Some of them, they have hot site, cold site. Hot site means if the primary one goes down, immediately the second one picks up. So they've already built in all those redundancies. Facebook, for example, has servers across the world, so that if any server goes down, they fail over to their. COVID is in the realm of disaster, and they have a plan for that. But in the normal course of business is what we're talking about now. In the normal course of business, we can predict how the business will perform.
Just from the first quarter of the year?
From the first quarter.
If somebody is running a business and the first quarter of the year is terrible, that means the end of the year is going to be terrible.
Not exactly, because these plans are corrective. So as you are going, that's why if you notice in companies, for many small businesses, for many of them it's at the end of the year that they really know where they stand. Did we make a profit this year or not? For many of the big companies, they have a monthly review, which most people don't know about. The one we often hear is quarterly review. Every quarter they will have and that's usually the one where sometimes they'll have calls with their shareholders. They have like annual report that is released. If you are a listed company on the stock exchange, you release something. Then there's half year, then there's full year. All of these are checkpoints. There's no way you'll be doing checkpoints end of January and you see there's fire on the mountain. Ask her, if you have any friend that is a banker, they will tell you when the bank is not performing well, the meeting for that month will be a wash down. Some people cry in the meetings because they will tell you your job is on the line, you're this, you're that, you have to perform. So by the time you're going to the next month, you're on fire. You do whatever, and by the time you do February, they now tell you, okay, that's good, keep it up. We are getting close, but remember, we still have a deficit. So it's corrective. They are watching themselves, they are learning. Yes, that sort of thing.